So about 2 years ago, I have a relative that was diagnosed with esophageal cancer and was told that they have a year, 18 months to live. They decided that they wanted to fight for their life, and they found someone that had a therapy that promised that they could extend life by another 3 to 5 years if he tried this therapy. And so he did it. And he died within 2 weeks of starting the therapy when he was originally given a year to a year and a half to live. And most people, if you had heard that that therapy was an alternative therapy in Mexico or somewhere else, you'd be like, you know, he got snookered by a snake oil salesman. How could he have allowed himself to lose his life over, you know, someone who was claiming all this false stuff? The problem was it was chemotherapy, and it was recommended to him by his oncologist that is at a very well-regarded, well-renowned cancer center. And so there was never any word about, you know, him making any mistake. He just did what was standard. And so anytime you have these alternate therapies, we get occasionally the response is, this can be very dangerous because you could convince someone to deviate from standard of care that could save their life. But the stories where the standard of care ends someone's life, those never see the light of day in any way. And I don't care that much because usually the people that are saying that aren't the people that are facing the decision tree of standard of care or non-standard of care. I just think it's interesting that when I've told that story to people and I tell them that he did something alternative, they say, how could he have done such a thing? But then when I tell them the truth, that the alternative thing wasn't the alternative at all, it was actually the standard, and that is what did it, they don't apply the same judgmental lens through which he made a big mistake. I don't know why that is, other than the fact that when you hear a story that conflicts with your belief system and is very disconcerting to you, you just kind of want to throw it off as an anecdote that doesn't fit within the model. I think the best tool that any individual person has is simply their intuition. The sad part about my relative's story is that they felt an immense amount of pressure that this was the only path that could work. And it was the path that, you know, it would have been better had they just not done anything. And so every time I'm talking, I'm always trying to speak to someone who is sensing internal pressure from professionals, from experts, and who aren't usually being totally truthful about the fact that there are risks in any treatment. And the best hedge against that risk is to follow your intuition wherever it takes you.